All right, we're back. We got time for a couple of phone calls, and then we want to talk a little more about New Way Now. I want to get to Marilyn, who's been holding patiently on line 2. Marilyn, thank you. Go ahead.
Hello.
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 I went through a very severe depression after my son was tragically killed about 12 or 13 years ago. And I did go to a psychiatrist, I talked with a psychiatrist for a while. I went through group therapy, and that helped me a lot. But I have a lingering situation that I don't know if it's still normal or what, but it seems like I have a trigger point that takes me back to the depression point. Mm-hmm. I cannot listen to watch a tragedy involving a murder on television or something like that.
Sure.
And I still get this at this point now. I feel like I'm still depressed.
Right.
And I don't know if this is normal or not.
Sure.
One thing about dealing with...
It's possible to have a trigger point that won't go away.
Go ahead, Doc.
One thing about dealing with depression is there are layers upon layers of emotional material. And dealing with the immediacy of depression following a horrible tragedy, as you described, may help with the symptoms, but it may take several times of going back at it to get to the finished product, if you will. So sometimes going back and having conversation again, having that evaluation again, can help one get to a better place over time. But these things do, unfortunately, take time. There's
especially with a tragedy
like this,
like
such a tragedy.
Yeah. Marilyn, thanks for sharing, and wish you the best of luck. Get some more help, talk about it, and hopefully you'll be okay. Let's go to Tracy on line 3 now. Hi, Tracy.
Hello. Good
Hi
evening.
there. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yes. I just happened to be flipping through the channels, and I looked and I saw
the topic
title of the talk, and I just felt so such reaffirmation in the project I'm just completing. It is also about depression and PTSD, but in the context of child abuse. And I listened to the young lady here who talked about how she found faith after experiencing depression, and it's interesting. I've always been a person of faith, and faith did help me through to survive. But it's interesting because I say in my book too how it's often when we're down to this depth of depression in our lives, these crises, that we go and we seek out the truth, and we seek the light. And so it really reaffirms what I've experienced and what I've gone through and what I've just finished writing. Great. A book that I've really been thinking about writing for over 15 years, but I just did not have the right context that I wanted to put it in until I had an experience last year with a couple of people that really helped me to put it in the right context, which it will be more helpful now.
Right.
And it is based as well. And I want to say to the lady who just called that she needs to hang on, because with depression, you're going to have, in the beginning especially, you're going to have these highs and these lows. And you have to put together a series of strategies so that when you start to feel it, you treat it right away. Not with alcohol, not with drugs, but there's supplements you can use, there's exercises, there's reading spiritual passages that will uplift you. And so I'm just glad to have been able to make some comments on this. And when I get my book finished, I might give you a call.
Please do, Tracy. We'd love that. Thank you for calling in. Thank you. She mentioned the word strategy, which from your point of view, it really is, isn't it? As you deal with a patient, you have to strategize as to how to best go forward, right?
And that's where everything gets individualized.
Yeah.
Because there's no one size fits all.
Right.
Everybody's going to have their own strategy based on their own unique abilities and unique circumstances in their life.
Right. And in your case, you found something that just a little bit of tapping on your head. How about that?
Yeah, well, and a lot of very good therapy. I always tell people.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because you've talked about that.
Well,
that's key.
Yes, and if you're not comfortable in any way, talking to the person you're talking to, go find someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, you're running this show. It's up to you. You're the boss in this. And I laugh sometimes when people say, oh, I couldn't go to therapy. And I'm thinking, thank God I had therapy.
Right.
I mean, dragons don't come out of the walls. You are in charge.
Yes.
But if you find you're not comfortable with the person, you definitely need to find the next person.
Yeah,
I agree.
Find the right fit.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of professionals out there, and, and they understand.
Yes.
They're not going to be hurt if you say, you know, this isn't the right fit, I'm going to move on. And they may even suggest, I've got some colleagues you may want to try. Right.
That's right.
All right, we have to take a final break, and then we're going to come back, and we will wrap things up here on this Tuesday night, everybody. Thanks so much for all of your phone calls. We'll be right back.